claiming responsibility in Mexico. The latest developments after a cartel allegedly claims it's responsible for the kidnapping of 4 Americans and the deaths of 2 of them. The latest on the investigation and what that cartel is saying tonight. Plus,
I said, well, we can't pay. What can we bargain with? And time is what we had to bargain with.
what happens when the best recruitment tool to hire teachers is no school at all? We go behind the drive to adopt a 4-day school week across the country in tonight's Prime Focus. And
one of the things I'm most proud of with our movie is that it's so wild, so imaginative, so big-hearted that it somehow transcends identity politics, that it actually just becomes about a family, and it's reached so many people of all different backgrounds and really is a piece of art.
New star Stephanie Hsu, what her historic Oscar nomination means for her community, why she could end up taking home the gold Sunday night. And good evening, I'm Trevor Auld in for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us tonight. We begin with the big alleged admission by a powerful Mexican drug cartel taking responsibility for the kidnapping of 4 Americans, 2 of whom have died. A note left on a pickup truck said some members of that cartel called Gulf were responsible. Along with that note, 5 men were found tied up near that pickup truck this morning. Multiple sources close to the investigation said they believe the note left on the windshield to be legitimate. And neither ABC News nor U.S. officials have been able to independently verify the authenticity of this note. We continue to investigate. In the meantime, the bodies of the 2 Americans who were killed arrived back in the U.S. late today. Matt Rivers leads us off once again from Mexico City tonight.
Tonight, nearly a week after that horrific kidnapping of 4 Americans that left 2 of them dead in a Mexican border city, a notorious drug cartel is allegedly taking responsibility. In these photos from a source close to the investigation, the Gulf cartel appearing to hand over the 5 members they say did it. The 5 men found tied up near a truck with guns, ammunition, and body armor at the same spot in Matamoros where the kidnapping took place. Plus, a note on the windshield purportedly signed by the cartel references, quote, 4 kidnapped Americans, 2 of which died, adding, quote, we have decided to deliver those involved and directly responsible. The 5 men now in state police custody. Authorities not confirming whether these 5 were involved, but multiple Mexican law enforcement sources close to the investigation tell ABC News the cartel note is believed to be legitimate. Neither ABC News nor U.S. officials have been able to verify the note's authenticity.
I think they're doing it to take heat off of themselves. I do think this was their intent, was to sort of ease the pain as far as what pressure may be placed on the cartel as time goes on.
And we, of course, know to never take the cartel directly at their word. Matt Rivers joins us now from Mexico City. Matt, though, does this alleged admission from this cartel serve as some kind of testament to how powerful they may be?
Well, there's no question that the Gulf Cartel, Trevor, is one of the most powerful criminal organizations in this entire country. And if they did, in fact, turn over some of their own, knowing that they would be detained by police, knowing that they would be then interrogated, those suspects, and they're not worried about what those suspects might say during that interrogation, I think it says a lot about the group's power both in Matamoros but also beyond. Trevor?
Matt Rivers for us again tonight. Matt, thank you. And next tonight to the ferocious storms pummeling the country, including a powerful atmospheric river for an already slammed California, up to 8 more feet of snow. Residents have been racing to shovel all that snow from their roofs today before this new storm hits, because it's going to continue to put their roofs in danger. And at lower elevations, up to 8 inches of rain is possible. Tonight, there are serious flood concerns as well. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is in San Bernardino once again.
Tonight, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department is investigating multiple deaths. So far, at least 13 people losing their lives in the snowed-in mountain communities in Southern California since the area was cut off by back-to-back blizzards in recent weeks, a number that could rise. Eleanor Avenatti was 93. Everybody called her Dolly. She lived alone, and Margaret Potvin showed us her house.
So that's the window where she was sleeping.
Right in there. And in early March, they got worried.
And we called the emergency number to come rescue Dolly.
Before she died?
Before she died. And they didn't come.
Neighbors tried to contact Eleanor, but she didn't answer. At that point, they realized that she probably may not have been alive. They had to climb up this bank and climb through a door over there, finding her near a fireplace, no longer alive.
So many residents here, like Margaret, trapped for weeks.
We couldn't leave. You're stuck here.
really were
and we
trapped.
had no electricity for 7 days.
The grim news comes as communities up and down the state race to remove all of that snow ahead of yet another system.
And let's bring in ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano, who's tracking even more snow in California and another storm that's moving into the Northeast. He joins us from San Francisco tonight. Rob, what are we looking at?
Trevor, we're looking at another atmospheric river. So this is a warm system, and that river is really flowing perpendicular to the coast and the mountains here in Northern California especially, and that really maximizes the precip, and we'll start to see that even more so tonight. The rain has been falling here in San Francisco all day long, and it's a bit of a mess all the way from Oregon down through Santa Cruz. That's where the heaviest rains will be tonight. Then it will slide down into Santa Barbara and Southern California, where those poor people are trapped. And this is a warm storm, so snow levels are going to jump 9,000 feet. So that's a heavy, wet Sierra cement type of snow that really weighs down even more weight on those rooftops. We'll see potentially some avalanches and winds over 100 miles per hour. Now, below 4,000 or 5,000 feet, that's where we're talking about flooding, not just from the heavy rain, but a little bit of snow melt and some mudslides are possible through Sunday morning. All the while, that snow in the Midwest is falling with that Midwestern snowstorm. Minneapolis to Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Chicago getting it as well, anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow. Really along I-90 and north. Detroit, you get some too. And this rolls into New York State by tomorrow afternoon. New York City by the evening rush. Some wet snow falling in Manhattan into Saturday morning. Along I-95 and north, we'll see several inches of snow as we head into the weekend. So winter not quite over yet, Trevor.
Rob Marciano for us. Rob, thank you. Now to a deadly rampage in Germany, where shots were fired inside a building used by Jehovah's Witnesses in Hamburg, the country's second largest city. Officers rushed to the scene in a massive show of force as gunfire was heard inside. Several people are reported to be dead. ABC's Marcus Moore has the latest.
Tonight, parts of Hamburg, Germany on lockdown after several people were reported killed and others injured in a shooting at a building being used by Jehovah's Witnesses. Police say at about 9 p.m. local time tonight, one or more unknown suspects opened fire on this street in Germany's second largest city. Officers with long guns raised, kicking in a glass panel to access the building's front door. Police say after officers arrived on the scene, they heard a gunshot from the upper floor. Officers shouting before climbing 2 flights of stairs, their weapons drawn, one officer holding a large tactical shield. Police escorting several people out of the building, hands above their heads, others sprinting out the door. A first responder carrying one person on their shoulders. Tonight, police saying it appears there is no indication the perpetrator or perpetrators are on the run and may still be in the building or among the dead.
And Trevor, this obviously was a very terrifying night for people in Hamburg, and this is a developing story. But we do know from police there in Hamburg that they say there is no manhunt, and that suggests to us that the active threat has passed. But there have been no IDs made at this point, and it also remains unclear the motive for tonight's terrible shooting. Trevor.
And we know you'll stay on this. Marcus Moore for us. Marcus, thank you. Now to Washington, where Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell remains hospitalized after tripping and falling at a Washington hotel last night. The 81-year-old is the longest-serving Senate party leader in history. So where does his health stand tonight? Here's ABC senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott.
Tonight, Republican Minority Leader Mitch McConnell in the hospital. His staff saying the 81-year-old is recovering from a concussion.
I've spoken with family. I think he's going to be all right.
The Senate's top Republican tripped and fell during a private dinner at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Washington, D.C. For hours, Washington waiting for word. Then this afternoon, his staff telling us McConnell is expected to remain in the hospital for a few days of observation and treatment.
I called the leader this morning and spoke briefly with his staff to extend my prayers and well wishes. My thoughts are also with Leader McConnell's family and his team.
Hopefully he'll be back next Tuesday when we're up and running, and I'm just knowing him, I'm sure he's watching C-SPAN.
Republicans briefed by McConnell's team tell us he is alert and talking. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy, who was a doctor, says that's a good sign.
Is it normal to keep someone for observation for a few days after a concussion?
Right, so it may just be that it's a little dose of being extra careful.
One of the most influential people in modern politics, to be sure. Rachel Scott joins us now. Rachel, I believe Senator McConnell does have some medical history that actually impacts his walking. What's the history there?
Yes, Trevor, McConnell has been pretty open about this. He talks about how he suffered and survived polio when he was a small child. It's a disease that left him with a slight limp. We actually often see him here on Capitol Hill grabbing on to sort of handrails as he makes his way up the stairs. He talks about how he has difficulty climbing stairs. But tonight, they're optimistic that he will recover, and you have senators on both sides of the aisle that are wishing him well. Trevor.
Rachel Scott for us. Rachel, thank you. And also on Capitol Hill today, there was a grilling. The CEO of Norfolk Southern facing lawmakers a month after that toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. Members of Congress are also asking whether the company is truly committed to the residents, even inquiring about covering their health care costs. ABC's transportation correspondent Gio Benitez has all the details.
Tonight, just hours after yet another train derailment, this time in Alabama, the CEO of Norfolk Southern testifying before lawmakers on Capitol Hill, Alan Shaw, telling the residents of East Palestine, the site of that toxic train derailment, that he is deeply sorry.
I'm committed to doing what's right. You know, we're going to be there today, tomorrow, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Senators pressing Shaw about paying for long-term damage like diminished property values and health care costs for the residents of East Palestine. But the CEO short on specifics.
We're going to do what's right for the citizens of East
What's right is to cover their health care needs. Will you do that?
Everything is on the table, sir.
Jessica Connard, a mother of 3, traveled here from East Palestine.
I'm very aware of what these chemicals and toxins can do to your body, and obviously it's terrifying and it's devastating. We're not drinking the water right now.
You don't trust that the water's safe to drink?
No.
And Gio Benitez joins us now. Gio, we heard that CEO a bit non-committal on the next steps forward, but what was his response to all that criticism?
So, Trevor, he basically defended his company's safety record, saying that it is safe. And he also said that derailments last year were actually the lowest in a decade. But listen, no doubt about it, the families at that hearing, we are all talking about those families. Those families still want answers. Trevor.
Traveling all the way from East Palestine. Gio Benitez, thank you. The Massachusetts man who allegedly attempted to attack a flight attendant appeared in federal court today. 32-year-old Francisco Torres was ordered a psychological evaluation in Boston. He is also accused of attacking 2 guards at the Rhode Island detention facility where he's being held. Torres is facing federal flight interference charges. He could potentially be in prison for the rest of his life. Well, new details in the Rust movie set shooting. Actor Alec Baldwin's attorney told a New Mexico judge today that the state had destroyed the firearm that killed the movie's cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Baldwin's lawyer also said he's working with the prosecution to see what's left of the weapon. A preliminary hearing has been scheduled for May 3rd. Both defendants are expected to attend in person. Next tonight, to Russia's fiercest missile assault so far this year in Ukraine. The Kremlin launching at least 81 missiles, including 6 hypersonic missiles that essentially cannot be shot down. They hit 11 different regions, killing at least 11 people, and for a time cut the power to Ukraine's key nuclear plant. Our James Longman reports from Ukraine tonight.
Tonight, Russia unleashing a deadly wave of attacks across Ukraine, the biggest missile barrage so far this year. The 7-hour assault began before dawn. More than 90 missiles and drones, dozens hitting their targets, slamming all corners of the country. 6 people were killed and power cut in multiple regions. 6 of the launches were advanced hypersonic missiles, the most Moscow has fired so far in this war. They can fly more than 5 times the speed of sound, and Ukraine can't shoot them down. One of them believed to have hit this power plant in Kyiv. Videos circulating online show a massive fire and smoke obscuring most of the sky. Near Lviv in the west, at least 5 people were killed. Buzzsaws called in to separate the living from the rubble. Workers later carrying the dead from their homes. These people had just been waiting for a bus, but death came instead. Shelling near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, Europe's largest, forced it to run on backup diesel generators for more than 24 hours.
Now that's the sound of the battle right on the doorstep of this town. Take a look, we're in a residential neighborhood. You've got people just trying to get on with their lives, and the battle is raging in the town next door. What goes through your mind when you're hearing the sounds of the war?
It's very scary, Valentina tells me, but we're trying to stay positive. This man then asking himself, what has Russia liberated me from? My job? My salary? I have nothing.
James joins us from eastern Ukraine, near the front lines of the fighting. James, you reported Russia's launched now more hypersonic missiles than at any other point in this war. Why does Ukraine believe this is so significant?
Well, Ukraine says Russia's using these hypersonic missiles because it's running out of more conventional weapons. You would use hypersonic missiles to carry nuclear weapons. I mean, these are, apart from anything else, incredibly expensive. So the Ukrainians say this is actually a sign of weakness, and it could be part of a pattern that we see repeated as this war goes on. Trevor?
Very interesting. James Longwood for us. James, thank you. Today, President Biden unveiled his budget proposal for 2024, the opening move in the battle to fund the federal government. At an event in Philadelphia, the president said his budget would cut the deficit by $3 trillion over the next decade, mostly by raising taxes on the wealthy and corporations. House Republicans won't back that. So what does it mean for looming budget talks and for the 2024 campaign? Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
President Biden today in the key battleground state of Pennsylvania, unveiling a blueprint for his re-election campaign, a $6.8 trillion budget that would slash the deficit by $3 trillion over the next decade.
Folks, let me tell you what I value with the budget I'm releasing today. I value everyone having an even shot, not just labor, but small business owners, farmers, and so many other people who hold the country together.
Biden's plan calls for new social spending on things like family leave and universal pre-K. It would also shore up Medicare and aim to lower prescription drug costs. It also features big hikes in defense spending, more money for police and border security. To pay for it all, the president is calling for tax hikes on large corporations and Americans making over $400,000 a year.
We also have to ask the wealthiest and biggest corporations to begin to pay their fair share.
His budget has no chance of passing in the Republican House, but the president is using it to challenge the other side to show Americans what they stand for.
I'm ready to meet with the speaker anytime, tomorrow, if he has his budget. Lay it down.
And Mary Bruce joins us from the White House. Mary, you mentioned in your reporting there, this budget is not going to pass. I want to drill down on that point. The messaging here, what is it for the elections on this issue?
Yeah, Republicans have made it very clear this is dead on arrival. And we know that budgets are always these aspirational documents. But this year is about a lot more than that. This is really a political pitch as the president readies a run for re-election. And he made it in Pennsylvania during his 20th trip to the key state since taking office. And Trevor, I am fairly confident that there are still many more trips to the state yet to come.
Okay, interesting. Mary Bruce, thank you.
Thank you.
And we still have much more to get to here on Prime. Coming up, a warning about traveling abroad for cosmetic medical procedures. Why one woman says her experience should serve as a cautionary tale. Plus, he starred in some of the biggest blockbuster franchises in history. Andy Serkis now tells us about his dark new role and why this may be one of the most complicated villains he has ever played. But next in tonight's Prime Focus, a rising trend at school districts across the country with staffing turnover and funding setbacks. Some schools are cutting back on how many days their students are in the classroom.
I said, well, we can't pay, what can we bargain with? And time is what we had to bargain with.
Whenever news breaks.
The crushing families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
the historic weather that's now unfolding,
the worries on Wall Street.
we're bringing you the right now. But a nationwide teacher shortage.
The right now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different.
Early mornings on ABC News Live.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
And now to the growing trend in some of our nation's schools. With teacher shortages hitting many classrooms hard, some school districts are turning to shortening the school week to 4 days to try to recruit and retain teachers. Tonight we travel to Missouri, where a quarter of districts in the state have made this move. ABC's Avery Harper has tonight's Prime Focus.
Monday typically marks the start of a new week in most schools across the country. But classrooms in Warren County, Missouri are empty. No teachers, no students, no class. It's a part of the 4-day school week the district adopted 4 years ago in an effort to attract and keep teachers in the classroom.
Take me back to 2019 when you all decided that you were going to go from 5 days of school per week to 4. What drove that decision?
We're really a rural school district outside of higher paying districts. We struggle to retain our teaching staff. So we were losing about almost 20% of our teaching staff every year.
Warren County School Superintendent Greg Clingan-Smith says the shortened week is his best bargaining chip when recruiting teachers.
And we said, well, we can't pay, what can we bargain with? And time is what we had to bargain with. And that did work.
The practice is becoming more common. About 560 school districts in 25 states have one or more schools with a 4-day week, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures. In Missouri, schools with 4-day schedules have lengthened the school day to meet the state's requirement for hours of instruction. The 4-day week was a selling point for Casey and Gina Dildine. They're parents of 3 children and moved to teach in Warren County last year.
That kind of sealed it for me, just have the extra day to do things and get the stuff done we need to get done.
We have that Monday to take care of, your family business that comes up. It's very helpful there with time with our babies and to just have that time, an extra day of, spending time with them and watching them grow and develop. It's huge.
Look at the digital clock. Gina Dildine teaches 2nd grade and says the 4-day week helps her avoid burnout.
Teaching is hard. It's exhausting. There's a whole lot of pressure and a whole lot of burden to teach these kids what they need to know, and that's our job. And so I feel like coming in on Tuesday after having that extra day to revive and refresh, that I'm more excited and more motivated to do my job.
While many teachers praise the shortened week, the effects of 4-day weeks on student achievement aren't cut and dry, according to Emily Morton, who has been researching the topic.
I think there are a lot of parents who are a little apprehensive when they hear that their district is going 4 days because they think that it could affect outcomes for their students.
We do see, on average, we see some small to medium negative effects on student test scores. I think there needs to be continued monitoring of the effects of the policy and looking at, in each district, how it's affecting students' achievement.
In Missouri, shortened school weeks are increasingly common. About 1 in 4 school districts uses them. Right now, Warren County is the largest, but not for long. Just outside of Kansas City, Independent School District, with its more than 14,000 students, is moving to 4 days next fall. Superintendent Dale Hurl says the number of applicants for teaching jobs in the district has shot up, and the number of resignations and retirements is down by more than half.
A year ago at this time, we had 86 resignations and retirements of teaching staff with 127 applications that we'd received. This year, we've only had 46 retirements and resignations, but 460 applications.
But not all parents in the district are convinced the change is a good idea.
We are a lower income area, and so I do have big concerns that
some of our families are going to struggle.
Okay, so Greek yogurt, protein or dairy.
Warren County parents who need childcare on the extra day off can opt to send their children to what the district has dubbed Care Day. Kids participate in a host of activities.
Do you think it's blended yet?
Yeah. Like this nutrition class, where students are making smoothies. Or this station, where volunteers give kids haircuts. It's all free of charge for families.
They like coming home with all of their crafts and their little experiments that they do. So yes, it's definitely been a positive.
In Independence, childcare will come at a cost for parents.
It is going to be an extra expense. It is going to be an extra worry to make sure that their kids are cared for. We are going to have some unsupervised kids.
Hurl says his district has worked to reduce care costs for younger students and has created new opportunities for high school students to make the most of the extra day.
A lot of students have said that they're excited about their ability to take college classes on those Mondays. So they're going to get a head start on going to college.
While the superintendents we spoke with say shortened school weeks have helped recruitment, both say teacher pay remains an obstacle to keeping teachers in the classroom.
And that's Avery Harper reporting. We still have much more to get to here on Prime. Coming up, the state that's following through with its threat to end ties with Walgreens, the agreement that it's ending with the pharmacy chain, and why they're doing it. But next, calculating customer rage. We're going to take a look at an increasing number of product problems and complaints being reported by the numbers.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now. This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
Two of the hottest rappers coming out of Atlanta.
Young Thug and Gunna.
Charged in a sweeping 56-count indictment. What is this? Rap is back on trial.
You decide to admit your crimes over a beat, I'm gonna use it. What is happening?
There's lots of us locked up in prison. We're not gonna let that happen on our watch. Not with hip-hop music, using our lyrics. We're gonna fight back.
Rap, trap, hip-hop on trial. Only on
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. Been a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
You never know what you're going to get on this show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, Whoopi!
Is this mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's what people don't see during the commercial break.
Right, they don't.
What happened?
I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasured that day.
I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
How would you describe George Santos?
He's a compulsive liar, fake, phony, horrible. Who is George Santos? Nobody knows. Let's go.
Fake it till you make it. Con artists take that to the extreme.
George Santos. I think he needs to lie more than he needs to breathe. I didn't want to go through this, but somebody had to say something.
He has been lying his entire life about everything.
If you could look into that camera and send a message to George Santos, what would you say?
What is wrong with you, dude? Nobody lies this much.
Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Well, American consumers are finding more problems with products and services they use, and more of them are speaking out, according to a new survey reported on by the Wall Street Journal. Let's take a look by the numbers. 74% of consumers questioned in the National Customer Rage Survey said they have had a problem with a product or service in the last year. That's up from 66% when the survey was last taken in 2020, and up from 56% going back to 2017. Meanwhile, 9% of consumers say they've tried to settle the score through publicly shaming or pestering the company either in person or online. It's up from just 3% in 2020, according to the Rage Survey, which was conducted by Customer Care Measurement and Consulting in partnership with Arizona State's Business School. Some 32% of those complaints were posted on social media, double the total from 2020. And complaints are also becoming more vocal. 79% of customers complaining about their problems directly to the company. It's up from 72% in 2020. Some 43% said they raised their voice to a customer service rep, up 8% from the 2017 survey. Now, separately, the American Customer Satisfaction Index stood at 73.1 out of 100 last year. That's down from 77 in 2018, showing a decline in customer satisfaction in the survey, which looks at 400 companies across 47 industries. And the Wall Street Journal notes the increase in complaints is leading even more companies to turn to automated systems, including AI, to field those calls and messages, which in all likelihood could be filling more customers with rage as they navigate long messages instead of just talking to an actual person. And we have much more ahead here on Prime. A man's sentence is vacated after a wrongful conviction led to nearly 2 decades in prison, who prosecutors say knew he didn't commit the crime. And it is a wild ride through a family's journey to heal. And actress Stephanie Hsu's role in it has earned her an Oscar nomination. She talks to us about the power of representation in everything, everywhere, all at once, and what it's like being thrust into the spotlight.
It's been a roller coaster ride even since its release, and so I wanted to do this little ritual that no matter what happened, that I could look back on our film and be really proud of us.
What does it take to be America's #1 news? It takes asking the straightforward, tough questions.
Do you believe that Donald Trump should ever be president again?
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
The news-making interviews.
You said that there were 6 friends. One of them was sick.
Yeah.
Do you have future political aspirations?
Going to the front line.
The search for survivors. How does this war end?
And getting to the heart of the story.
Thank you for being here. We'll be here for the long run.
ABC News, #1 in the morning, the #1 newscast, #1 in daytime talk, Friday nights, Sunday mornings versus the competition, and the #1 streaming news. Thank you for making ABC News America's trusted, straightforward first choice.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. But a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
How would you describe George Santos?
He's a compulsive liar, fake, phony, horrible. Who is George Santos? Nobody knows.
Let's go. Fake it till you make it. Con artists take that to the extreme.
George Santos. I think he needs to lie more than he needs to breathe. I didn't want to go through this, but somebody had to say something.
He has been lying his entire life about everything.
If you could look into that camera and send a message to George Santos, what would you say?
What is wrong with you, dude? Nobody lies this much.
Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're gonna love it.
What are the secrets that most people don't know?
Let me see your ID card.
Wait.
This is a world you will have to live in. There's no going back.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yeah.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do? Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
A state breaks business ties with Walgreens. A man is jailed for 18 years in a case of mistaken identity, and the new monument replacing a statue of Christopher Columbus. These stories and more in tonight's rundown.
California Governor Gavin Newsom said the state will not be renewing its contract with Walgreens. The move comes after the pharmacy giant said it would not distribute the abortion pill mifepristone in states where officials have threatened legal action against them, including some states where abortion is still legal. Newsom on Monday had tweeted that the state would no longer do business with Walgreens over the decision. The contract allowed the state to obtain specialty pharmacy prescription drugs from Walgreens for California's corrections system, with Newsom saying California would now look to purchase the drugs elsewhere.
The Michigan legislature has repealed a 1931 law which banned abortion in the state. The bill was passed in the state Senate Wednesday, less than a week after passing through the House, and will now head to the desk of Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who is expected to sign it into law. The abortion ban became the subject of confusion after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, prompting questions about if the Supreme Court decision meant the law was back in effect. A state judge ruled in September that the 1931 law was unconstitutional.
I waited a long time for this day to happen.
A man who served 18 years in prison for a 2004 murder he did not commit because of a photo mistake had his sentence vacated in Brooklyn. Sheldon Thomas was arrested based on a witness identification of a different person with the same name who also lived in the same precinct. Prosecutors said police knew they were two different people but moved forward anyway. A reinvestigation concluded that detectives were intent on arresting the defendant and used the faulty identification as pretext. Thomas left the courthouse a free man. The actual killer in the incident is still unknown.
A multi-million-dollar court judgment resulting from a hazing-related death.
Max Groover was an 18-year-old freshman at LSU. He had pledged the Phi Delta Theta fraternity and was forced to drink a fatal amount of alcohol on September 13, 2017. His blood alcohol level was 6 times the legal limit to drive when he died.
Another member of the fraternity was convicted in the death of Groover. A Baton Rouge jury yesterday awarded the Groovers $6.1 million in damages for the death of their son.
If I were a rich man,
Iconic Israeli actor Chaim Topol has died. He was best known for playing Tevye in the musical Fiddler on the Roof, both on stage and in the 1971 film adaptation. He achieved international acclaim for the role, winning a Golden Globe and receiving nominations for an Oscar and a Tony. He also appeared in more than 30 other films, including Galileo, Flash Gordon, and the James Bond film For Your Eyes Only. Topol was 87 years old.
A long-awaited Harriet Tubman Monument was unveiled in Newark, New Jersey today. A special ceremony was held, including Queen Latifah, to introduce the monument in what is known as Harriet Tubman Square. The monument is called Shadow of a Face and is a multi-sensory exhibit featuring narrations by Newark citizens, including Latifah. The Tubman Monument resides in a spot once held by a Christopher Columbus statue that was removed in 2020.
And next tonight, to a warning about the risks of medical tourism. Millions of Americans travel abroad every year in search of discount medical, dental, and cosmetic procedures. And ABC's Ariel Reshef has the story of one mother's treatment gone wrong.
A warning from one mom to other Americans about the potential dangers of medical tourism in Mexico.
I'm permanently disfigured for the rest of my life.
Shannon Palmer crossed the border for a so-called mommy makeover, which included a tummy tuck, after researching a physician in Tijuana. But she says immediately when waking up from anesthesia, she knew something was wrong with her hands.
I'm waking up in agonizing pain, and it wasn't from the surgery I just had on my body. It was on my hands. My fingers were cold, numb, and I started to worry about the circulation.
The next day, her doctor explaining that heated saline bags placed on her hands during surgery to keep her warm had severely burned her.
When I got home, they told me the news saying that you're likely going to have an amputation on your dominant thumb.
According to the CDC, each year millions of Americans participate in so-called medical tourism in places like Mexico, Canada, Central and South America, and the Caribbean. With dental care, surgery, cosmetic surgery, and fertility treatments, organ and tissue transplantation, and cancer treatments among the most common. The Journal of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons reporting cosmetic surgery can be obtained for up to 50% less in developing countries, with a tummy tuck running $8,000 on average in the United States. In Mexico, the same procedure can cost just $4,500 as of 2017. But experts warn traveling abroad for medical procedures can come with a host of serious risks.
Here in the United States, individuals are credentialed to perform certain types of procedures. That's usually based on their training, it's based on their board certification, and it's based on whether their facility is deemed safe for general anesthesia. That may not be the case abroad.
That's Ariel Reshef reporting. Next tonight, you might remember it. It was very popular in the 80s and 90s, but Sunny D is now the latest company to release an alcoholic version of their drinks. But some say the marketing of beverages like this is, quote, irresponsible. And ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has more on these rising concerns about how the drinks are marketed and who they're actually targeting.
We got some soda, OJ, purple stuff, Sunny Delight.
For years, it was the drink in almost every family's fridge.
Sunny Delight, the good stuff kids go for.
And now, to the delight of children of the 80s and 90s, Sunny D is out with a new twist, a vodka seltzer, which is set to hit select Walmart stores this weekend. Some industry experts claim companies like Harvest Hill Beverage, the maker of Sunny D, are blurring the beverage lines, using Sunny D's brand recognition among young consumers as a way to market its alcoholic beverage to minors.
It's very hard if you've got a brand that's been built up on a loyal followership of the younger people to then stretch that brand into alcohol, which clearly should be targeted at people over the age of 21.
It's the latest soft drink company to partner with alcohol brands. The Coca-Cola Company and Molson Coors coming together to make Simply Spiked Hard Lemonade.
Tastes like your favorite lemonade, now spiked.
And PepsiCo working with the Boston Beer Company to do the do with a kick.
Freak out responsibly.
But some warn the marketing of these beverages is irresponsible. A report published in 2022 on this issue includes photos showing hard Mountain Dew merchandised next to regular cases of Mountain Dew, and in this photo, beneath a Hot Wheels toy display.
Our thanks to Rebecca Jarvis. Well, this award season, the most talked about film has been Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. A multiverse comedy drama. It has eye-popping graphics and wild twists and turns. But at its center, the movie is about family. And this complex and compassionate picture has been helped to be painted by actress Stephanie Hsu, and that role earned the 32-year-old her first Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. And Hsu plays a dual character at two ends of the spectrum, but still very much alike. One is a disgruntled daughter desperate for understanding. The other is an omniversal villain who is seeking to be understood and to not be alone. And Hsu has been on our show before, just a few months before her Oscar nod. This time, our Lindsay Davis talks with the nominee about just how important these 95th Oscars are as the Academy nominates the greatest number of Asian actors it ever has in a single year.
I have felt everything your daughter has felt. I know the joy and the pain of having you as my mother.
Are you super excited?
I am excited. I mean, all my friends are in there, people I love, people I admire, so that's really special.
If there's somebody you could bump into on the red carpet, who would it be?
I will say I hadn't watched The Fabelmans the last time I saw Steven Spielberg. I do feel excited to just extend my gratitude and graces for so much of what he's done for the film industry. I think the coolest so far was definitely meeting Tilda Swinton. That was pretty neat.
Where were you when you found out about the nomination?
I was on an airplane. I was flying back to America from Sydney, Australia. I'm filming a movie there right now. I keep going and then filming for 2 days and then flying back. So I was on my way back. My phone just started exploding and I was like, what's going on? And it was one of my friends. She was the first one who just said, like, holy beep. And I think I kind of knew then.
But you were on a plane, so you had to stay contained,
I
right?
just stayed. I literally was in my little pod, just like by myself. And what was really wild too was that I knew that the nominations were coming out and I wanted to do a ritual to honor the work that we had done on the movie. And, you know, we filmed in 2020. It's been a long time. It's been a roller coaster ride even since its release. And so I wanted to do this little ritual that no matter what happened, that I could look back on our film and be really proud of us. So I watched the movie on the plane. I've seen it a bunch of times, but it's been a while, and people love watching it on a plane because it's a safe space to cry.
Do you still want to do your party?
We can do whatever we want. Nothing matters.
So it felt like a really beautiful end to the flight of starting with rewatching the movie and ending with so many of us being celebrated in this way. Yeah, it felt really sweet.
And really, the movie itself is a wild ride. I mean, because it's a drama, it's comedy, but it's also action-packed. When you first read the script, what did you think?
Well, it's embarrassing to say, but I really understood it. I think the Daniels and I are really cut from the same cloth when it comes to senses of humor and big-hearted, big-thought stories. And to their credit, even though the movie is really wild, the story somehow works and you can feel the family through it all, and that is legible in the script as well.
How difficult was it? Because you really are playing two totally distinct characters.
Yeah.
I mean, you're Joy, the daughter, who's really depressed and really kind of struggling for acceptance within her own family, and then you're Jobu at the same time, like with the villain of the multiverse. Yeah. So how did that work? Pulling yourself in those two totally different directions.
I always say that Joy and Jobu are two extremes of the same core, and that core is nihilism.
What is the truth? Nothing matters.
And it was really important for us to create a villain that wasn't just funny or scary for no reason, but had a really strong emotional and philosophical core.
They come.
And that's the beautiful thing about both of them, is that at the end of the day, it really is still Joy. It is still the daughter. So I feel like that was kind of the rooting through line, that even when things got crazy, I had to always remember that underneath all that was still that same daughter that is just longing for her mother to see her.
Talk to me about what this means as far as representation, because at the heart of it, it's really a story about immigration, but then it goes so far beyond that, and what that means for the Asian American community to be considered for, Best Picture of the Year.
One of the things I'm most proud of with our movie is that it's so wild, so imaginative, so big-hearted that it somehow transcends identity politics, that it actually just becomes about a family, and it's reached so many people of all different backgrounds and really is a piece of art. And I feel excited about that space that's opened up where we get to have a more diverse fabric of storytellers, but that the things that we make don't necessarily always have to be about the ways in which we are different. It can actually just be about what's inside of us, what we're trying to communicate, how we're trying to process. And at the same time, when my mom came to see it at the premiere, she was in tears. She's not an emotional person. She's not a cinephile whatsoever. She does love Michelle Yeoh. But at the end of the movie, she had tears in her eyes, and she pointed to the screen and she said, "That's me." And I really was processing that because she didn't say, "Oh, that's you." She said, "That's me." And I realized it was the first time my mother has ever seen her story on a screen. So just to really feel how much is healing intergenerationally is really special.
When you were actually doing the role, did you feel any of the parallels with your own life with you and your mother?
Absolutely. I definitely think our story, our film does such a good job of describing first generation, second generation experience in an immigrant family, and there were definitely a lot of overlaps.
First movie that you ever saw that really made an impact?
I think it was Flubber. I loved Flubber.
Favorite snack to eat while you're watching a movie?
Ooh, like a dark piece of chocolate.
If you could have dinner with any movie character,
oh wow,
who would it be?
Robin Williams in Flubber?
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you can watch the Oscars on ABC Sunday night at 8 p.m. Coming up in our next hour, 2 friends, 1 film, 9 Oscar nominations. Our Lindsay Davis also sits down with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, stars of The Banshees of Inisherin, to talk about how they use their real-life friendship to help dive into those 2 characters who are at the end of their own friendship. And you can catch all of Lindsay's conversations with the stars in our 3-part series, Road to the Oscars. The first airs tonight at 8:30. 8:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, and then also tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 9 Pacific. Our next guest is no stranger to blockbuster franchises. You know him from The Lord of the Rings, from Planet of the Apes, from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and many more. Andy Serkis is now taking on his next challenge alongside Idris Elba, who returns to his role as Luther, a detective now on the hunt for a sociopathic serial killer who's terrorizing London. Let's take a look at the upcoming film, Luther, the Fallen Son.
Who's this? You know who it is. Move!
Go, 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 go.
That's it. Let's go.
Okay, we left us on a cliffhanger there. Andy Serkis, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I believe I read that you said when you read this script, the story was so dark you wanted to throw it in the trash and take a shower afterwards.
That is 100% true. Yeah, I mean, I played some villains in my time, but this guy is a leap beyond.
Is that a draw to it?
No, I mean, I really did think I'm not going to do this, but then actually when I really investigated what it was about, and he is the tip of the iceberg in terms of the monster in the movie. The monster itself is technology and the use of technology and how we've kind of given up responsibility in policing it. And David Roby, the character I play, is someone who knows that and is a master at manipulating people through that, through the use of surveillance and watching people and then shaming them as a result.
Right, your character's a billionaire, right, with access to all in the dark web and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you tighten up your internet passwords after you read this?
I tell you, a lot of people, I mean, no, the fact of the matter is I haven't, and actually you should, you know, because all this stuff is out there, as we know, and it's powerful stuff, and that I think is, again, that's the thrill of what Luther is trying to do, which is to take down this person who is someone who is abusing the technology in the way that he does. It's horrific.
I was going to ask you, we're talking about being fans of the show already, and you already joined it. You're no stranger to joining some pretty big enterprises. Do you change how you approach a project if there's already this kind of universe and story that's being told?
You know, I think is when you join something like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for instance, you know, you're aware that you're a custodian of the role for a particular period of time, or like playing Alfred in Batman. You know, you're given the mantle to carry for a while, and then you eventually, you know, you're going to be passing it on. It's a bit like playing a part in a Shakespeare play, for instance. You know, someone else is going to play King Lear next year.
Of course.
You know.
Yes. How is it going toe-to-toe with Idris Elba?
It's amazing. He's such a formidable actor, brilliant actor, and obviously he owns this role completely. He's played it for so many years, and being on set and facing off with someone who is so in the moment is really exciting.
And I believe he's also a pretty decent boxer, and I think you guys have some pretty physical scenes.
We had a number of toe-to-toes in this, yeah, and it was I always came out okay. I think I held my own against him. He is a kickboxer. He's a trained martial artist, but we had a great stunt team, and I learned how to, through my character, sort of deflect and duck and dive and use use my weapons.
Talk to a few actors when they're playing villains, and I know you've played several now. This one, as you said, takes it maybe even a step further. But actors always say the core of it is, you know, finding the humanity in the character. Nobody's all good or all bad. Is that still the case for your character here?
You have to do that. I mean, and in this case, it is someone who is a kind of lonely, isolated individual who is completely desensitized, is unable to connect with humanity. The only way that he can do it is by observing them and picking up little bits of them. He's almost like a vampire in a way. But there is that kind of incel kind of world that he lives in, and so the dark web becomes a safe haven for people like him. So he is a man who thinks he's on a mission to take down Luther, who he thinks is a hypocrite because he's a kind of vigilante cop who is the arbiter of his own moral universe, and so therefore who's he to judge how we live our lives is his argument, you know. So I think you're beholden as an actor to kind of find something that the audience can relate to in some way. Otherwise, what's the point?
And you're obviously no stranger to some pretty well-known franchises. They're continuously expanding the Lord of the Rings universe. Any interest in returning there?
Always. I mean, look at anything that Peter Jackson lays his hands to. He is such a magnificent filmmaker. I love New Zealand and the whole team down there. They're like my second family. So of course.
If I could get work to take me to New Zealand, I'm there in a minute.
Come on, I'm sure you can play. I'm sure you could play an elf.
I might be a bit tall for that role, but
they can be tall.
Is that right? Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. You're right. Andy Serkis, thanks so much for being here. Great to see you. Luther, the Fallen Son will be available to stream on Netflix tomorrow. Can't wait to see it. And finally tonight, meet the 10-year-old who wrote a song and left it on the kitchen counter thinking it wasn't good enough. And you're about to find out what happened next. World News Tonight anchor David Muir has her story.
Tonight in West Grove, Pennsylvania, 10-year-old Olive Wallace is witnessing her song come to life. It was 3 weeks ago when Olive wrote a song to play on her violin, but she didn't think it was good enough to perform. That's when her mother, Mimi, had an idea, sharing the score online.
My 10-year-old daughter wrote this. Could somebody play this?
The response was immediate. Chuck in Iowa playing it on the piano. Julie on the harp. The clarinet. And it keeps going. Musicians all over the country performing Olive's song, encouraging her. In Bellevue, Washington, conductor and professor Christopher Hansen gathering 50 other music teachers to play Olive's piece. And 85 7th and 8th graders from the Washington All-State Junior Orchestra. Tonight, Olive telling us it means a lot to connect so many people, and her mother, Mimi, saying it's a true testament to the good in this world. And tonight here,
hi, David.
Professional violinist Casey Bozell on the gift Olive has given with her song.
We all need new and inspiring art these days.
Man, that sounds good, too. That is our show for this hour. I'm Trevor Ault. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. And thank you for streaming with us. Coming up in the next hour, new developments in the case of 4 Americans kidnapped in Mexico, the admission by a powerful drug cartel, and actors Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson on working together in a critically acclaimed film once again, how they celebrated their Oscar nominations.
With so much at stake in our world right now, we wanted to thank you for your trust and for making ABC News America's #1 news.
And thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
After an extraordinary news-making year, thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings. This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital. Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye. Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
You never know what you're going to get on this show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, Whoopi! Is this mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's what people don't see during the commercial break.
Right, they don't.
What happened?
I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasured that day. I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah, baby. It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yeah.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do? Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
How would you describe George Santos?
He's a compulsive liar, fake, phony, horrible. Who is George Santos? Nobody knows.
Let's go.
Fake it till you make it. Con artists take that to the extreme.
George Santos. I think he needs to lie more than he needs to breathe. I didn't want to go through this, but somebody had to say something.
He has been lying his entire life about everything.
If you could look into that camera and send a message to George Santos, what would you say?
What is wrong with you, dude? Nobody lies this much.
Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
I'm Trevor Auld in for Lindsay Davis. Thank you for streaming with us. We're monitoring several developments here at ABC News at this hour. Actor Robert Blake, who went on trial for the mysterious murder of his second wife, has died himself, according to ABC News' own station, KABC. Blake was 89. He'd been a household name for generations of Americans from his decades in TV and film. New details in the Rust movie set shooting after Alec Baldwin's attorney told the New Mexico judge that the state had, quote, destroyed the firearm that killed the movie cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Baldwin's lawyer also said he is working with the prosecution to see what's left of the weapon. A preliminary hearing has been scheduled for May 3rd. Both defendants are expected to attend in person. Former Navajo Nation President Peterson Za, who made his mark on Native American education at his reservation and at Arizona State University, has died at the age of 85. Za was the first elected president on the nation's largest tribal reservation back in 1990. According to his family, Za had been ill for some time. Well, next to the major alleged admission by a powerful Mexican drug cartel taking responsibility for the kidnapping of 4 Americans, 2 of whom died. A note left on a pickup truck said some members of this cartel, called Gulf, were responsible for that kidnapping. And along with that note, 5 men were found tied up near that pickup truck this morning. Our Matt Rivers reports from Mexico City tonight.
Tonight, nearly a week after that horrific kidnapping of 4 Americans that left 2 of them dead in a Mexican border city, a notorious drug cartel is allegedly taking responsibility. In these photos from a source close to the investigation, the Gulf Cartel appearing to hand over the 5 members they say did it. The 5 men found tied up near a truck with guns, ammunition, and body armor at the same spot in Matamoros where the kidnapping took place. Plus, a note on the windshield purportedly signed by the cartel references, quote, 4 kidnapped Americans, 2 of which died, adding, quote, we have decided to deliver those involved and directly responsible. The 5 men now in state police custody. Authorities not confirming whether these 5 were involved, but multiple Mexican law enforcement sources close to the investigation tell ABC News the cartel note is believed to be legitimate. Neither ABC News nor U.S. officials have been able to verify the note's authenticity.
I think they're doing it to take heat off of themselves. I do think this was their intent, was to sort of ease the pain as far as what pressure may be placed on the cartel as time goes on.
That's Matt Rivers reporting. Next tonight to the ferocious storms pummeling the country, including a powerful atmospheric river for an already slammed California, up to 8 more feet of snow. Residents today race to shovel snow from their roofs before this new storm hits and putting their roofs in further danger. And at lower elevations, up to 8 inches of rain is possible. So tonight there's also serious flood concerns. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is in San Bernardino.
Tonight, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department is investigating multiple deaths. So far, at least 13 people losing their lives in the snowed-in mountain communities in Southern California since the area was cut off by back-to-back blizzards in recent weeks, a number that could rise. Eleanor Avenatti was 93. Everybody called her Dolly. She lived alone, and Margaret Potvin showed us her house.
So that's the window where she was sleeping.
Right in there. And in early March, they got worried.
And we called the emergency number to come rescue Dolly.
Before she died?
Before she died. And they didn't come.
Neighbors tried to contact Eleanor, but she didn't answer. At that point, they realized that she probably may not have been alive. They had to climb up this bank and climb through a door over there, finding her near a fireplace, no longer alive. So many residents here, like Margaret, trapped for weeks.
We couldn't leave. You're stuck here. And we had no electricity for 7 days.
The grim news comes as communities up and down the state race to remove all of that snow ahead of yet another system.
Matt Gutman, thank you. And let's bring in ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano, who's tracking even more snow in California and another storm that's moving into the Northeast. He joins us from San Francisco tonight. Rob, what are we looking at?
Trevor, we're looking at another atmospheric river. So this is a warm system, and that river is really flowing perpendicular to the coast and the mountains here in Northern California especially, and that really maximizes the precip, and we'll start to see that even more so tonight. The rain has been falling here in San Francisco all day long, and it's a bit of a mess all the way from Oregon down through Santa Cruz. That's where the heaviest rains will be tonight. Then it will slide down into Santa Barbara and Southern California, where those poor people are trapped. And this is a warm storm, so snow levels are going to jump 9,000 feet. So that's a heavy, wet Sierra cement type of snow that really weighs down even more weight on those rooftops. We'll see potentially some avalanches and winds over 100 miles per hour. Now, below 4,000 or 5,000 feet, that's where we're talking about flooding, and not just from the heavy rain, but a little bit of snow melt and some mudslides are possible through Sunday morning. All the while, that snow in the Midwest is falling with that Midwestern snowstorm. Minneapolis to Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Chicago getting it as well, anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow. Really along I-90 and north. Detroit, you get some too. And this rolls into New York State by tomorrow afternoon. New York City by the evening rush. Some wet snow falling in Manhattan into Saturday morning. Along I-95 and north, we'll see several inches of snow as we head into the weekend. So winter not quite over yet, Trevor.
Rob Marciano for us. Rob, thank you. And next to Washington, where 81-year-old Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell remains hospitalized after tripping and falling in a Washington hotel last night. ABC senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott has the latest.
Tonight, Republican Minority Leader Mitch McConnell in the hospital. His staff saying the 81-year-old is recovering from a concussion.
I've spoken to the family. I think he's going to be all right.
The Senate's top Republican tripped and fell during a private dinner at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Washington, D.C. For hours, Washington waiting for word. Then this afternoon, his staff telling us McConnell is expected to remain in the hospital for a few days of observation and treatment.
I called the leader this morning and spoke briefly with his staff to extend my prayers and well wishes. My thoughts are also with Leader McConnell's family and his team.
Hopefully he'll be back next Tuesday when we're up and running, and I'm just knowing him, I'm sure he's watching C-SPAN.
Republicans briefed by McConnell's team tell us he is alert and talking. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy, who was a doctor, says that's a good sign.
Is it normal to keep someone for observation for a few days after a concussion?
Right, so it may just be that it's a little dose of being extra careful.
Our thanks to Rachel Scott. And also on Capitol Hill today, a grilling for the CEO of Norfolk Southern, facing lawmakers a month after that toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. Here's ABC's transportation correspondent Gio Benitez.
Tonight, just hours after yet another train derailment, this time in Alabama, the CEO of Norfolk Southern testifying before lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Alan Shaw telling the residents of East Palestine, the site of that toxic train derailment, that he is deeply sorry.
I'm committed to doing what's right. We're going to be there today, tomorrow, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Senators pressing Shaw about paying for long-term damage like diminished property values and health care costs for the residents of East Palestine. But the CEO short on specifics.
We're going to do what's right for the citizens of East
What's right is to cover their health care needs. Will you do that?
Everything is on the table, sir.
Jessica Connard, a mother of 3, traveled here from East Palestine.
I'm very aware of what these chemicals and toxins can do to your body, and obviously it's terrifying and it's devastating. We're not drinking the water right now.
You don't trust that the water's safe to drink?
No.
Our thanks to Gio Benitez, and we still have much more to get to here on Prime. Coming up, the Oscar-nominated film The Banshees of Inisherin shows just how painful friendship breakups can be. But actor Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson say the bonds behind the scenes are stronger than ever.
What is it like for you guys, who are friends in real life, to get to work together?
Oh, it's a joy. It's easy. I mean, it's easy in that, there's permission for it to be hard where it needs to be hard, and to push each other in the way that creatively you want to be pushed and you want to be allowed to push your fellow actor.
But next, the latest on the catastrophic floods in Peru, why the threat is not over yet.
Whenever news breaks,
the crush of families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
In Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
Bring them on.
If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. A place as spectacular as, well, me.
I think we might know a place, right, guys?
Bring your friends. Oh, wait, there is.
Good morning, America.
GMA, 7A, every day. Boom, boom, boom.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Robin. Good morning, America. How are you?
Boom. Now that's how you start your day, people.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yeah.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do? Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Reporting from Memphis, I'm Rob Marciano. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
And we're tracking several headlines around the world. At least 3 people were killed when a train ran into a public bus in Nigeria. An official from the National Emergency Management Agency said at least 84 other passengers were injured. Buses like the one involved in the crash can seat about 40 people at full capacity, but up to 100 when passengers are standing. Catastrophic floods have caused the lives of people in northern Peru to come to a near halt. That video shows school staff trying to salvage chairs, children walking in flooded hallways. According to the National Service of Meteorology, more rains are expected in the coming days. Fiji's former prime minister, who led the Pacific Island nation for 16 years until narrowly losing an election in December, has now been charged with abuse of office. Those charges and the suspension of a police commissioner are related to a complaint by the University of South Pacific in 2019 that the pair had terminated an active police investigation into the activities of former staff members of the university. Well, the film The Banshees of Inisherin centers on a friendship in peril on a remote Irish island. And Colin Farrell, who's nominated for Best Actor, and Brendan Gleeson, who's nominated for Best Supporting Actor, play that duo at an impasse. And the two are friends in real life. They have an undeniable chemistry on screen, pushing each other's boundaries and proving that friendship breakups can sometimes be just as painful as romantic ones. Our Lindsay Davis sat down with Farrell and Gleeson to talk about the film, which is also itself nominated for Best Picture, and it puts Ireland in the spotlight.
Now, if I've done something to you, just tell me what I've done to you.
But you didn't say anything to me.
Well, that's what I was thinking, like.
I just don't like you no more.
You didn't like me yesterday.
Well, congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
After all these years, what's it like to finally get the nod?
It's really lovely, and it's just, I feel very spoiled to have this moment in such a shared environment as the one that we get to all, experience together, because there's a bunch of us, it's myself and Brennan, Barry and Kerry and Carter and Martin twice. It feels like a really much more communal experience than it might have otherwise. Yeah. Which is lovely.
It feels like a good year for Irish actors, too, in general, right?
Paul getting in there.
Yeah, it's amazing, really.
Unbelievable, really.
I hadn't met Paul before, so I love his work anyway. So it's really good for the whole vibe at home, in terms of feeling that we can do it. If we can reach the standards, we can get there.
All that last night was just the whiskey talking, Colin.
All what last night?
All whatever it was I was saying.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I can't remember much of it, but I remember the gist of it wasn't the best.
So, it will give us confidence back home, I think, to look towards doing this kind of quality of work, and it does give everybody a lift for sure.
Give us a sense of the scene set for us when you found out that you got the nomination.
Well, I was going to work the next day, so I was in bed. I knew when the call came that it's either time to get up or it's something else.
Yeah.
And it says, no, I think this is a call that's going to tell me something. So it was fantastic and a great way to go to work next day. But I was here, so it was nice we could meet up that evening.
Yeah,
remember?
We met up that evening, all of us. And just kind of joyous, because we loved doing the film. It meant a lot to all of us in our own individual ways and in shared ways too. So to have all this happen has been, as I said, there's a sweetness to it that might not be there if it wasn't as shared an experience and if it wasn't about as much as I feel personally, having read it and then having done it, the film is about,
And you all worked together, obviously, in Bruges in 2008.
You're about the worst tourist in the whole world. If I'd grown up on a farm, Bruges might impress me, but I didn't, so it doesn't.
Kind of a similar idea of friends and then this conflict. What is it like for you guys who are friends in real life to get to work together?
Oh, it's a joy. It's easy. I mean, it's easy in that, there's permission for it to be hard where it needs to be hard, and to push each other in the way that creatively you want to be pushed and you want to be allowed to push your fellow actor and all that kind of stuff.
Go on back to your own gang now, Pádraig. I'm serious now.
Serious, are you? And talking to me? Are you? Do you know what you used to be?
No, Pádraig, what did I used to be?
Nice.
There's a kind of organic element to it that defies any understanding on my part. And as you say, we work in a very similar way.
Yeah.
We have total access to each other at all times if we want to bounce ideas or thoughts.
Yeah, we can tease it out as well and say, no, it's actually kind of interesting not fully knowing what's happening here.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if it's just, there's something irritating either of us. It's a collaborative exercise in its proper way.
First movie that you saw made a big impression on you?
Bambi.
Bambi.
Bambi!
Bambi's mother dying, that killed me.
Extraordinary, E.T.
My mother's...
E.T. dying killed me.
There you go.
Spielberg's a filmmaker, like he presents these, you know, call it the Amblin world of kind of idyllic suburban American experience, but often at the core of his familial presentations are families that are really struggling. So it was just, it was an experience of a very domestic but very real turbulence that was going on in a family. And then, of course, when the time came that E.T. died, it just shook me to my core. And I was probably 6 or 7 as well.
On its face, this movie is about, you know, a small Irish island, and 2 friends end up having a conflict, and then I don't want to spoil it, right? But what is it about this movie that seems very simple that you feel is resonating with so many people?
We've all dealt with loss, and we're all, one of the great certainties and sad certainties of life is that we're all going to deal with loss at a certain point. I think the death of the friendship in this film and how deeply, and I only say this because people have said this to me, how deeply it's resonated with them. It's spoken to that part of them that has been emotionally or psychologically agitated in life by the fear that can assail you when you lose somebody that meant so much to you. Just that kind of simple dynamic of the human experience, I think, is something that people seem to be leaning into or seem to find a little bit of healing in or a little bit of recognition.
Yeah, well, it can't all be you, can it?
Yes, it can.
There's 2 of us in this.
No, there isn't.
It takes 2 to tango.
I don't want to tango.
Well, you danced with your dog.
I thought Martin was very smart to take the sexual element out of those kind of relationships, because I think it's resonating across relationships with people. This bond of kind of kinship and, you know, soul recognition and stuff like that, the sundering of that, it could be 2 men or 2 women or a man and a woman or whatever way you want to join it or, you know, do it. And I think people are able to, because everybody almost has had to bring something to an end that hasn't been pleasant or be dumped that hasn't been pleasant. It was very easy for people to access it, and just the pain that's involved in it and all the dilemmas that are involved.
Before I was ever an actor, as a fan of film made me feel less alone. And when it does that, and it doesn't always do that, of course, but it has the capability of doing that sometimes, and that's a beautiful thing to be a part of.
And you can watch the Oscars on ABC Sunday night at 8 p.m. You can catch all of Lindsay's conversations with the stars in our 3-part series, Road to the Oscars. The first airs tonight, 8:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, and then tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 9 Pacific. And still to come, a 10-year-old novel is now a viral sensation. It's selling thousands of copies in just weeks. We're going to speak to the author and his daughter about how the internet came together to make that author's dream come true in this week's TikTok.
How would you describe George Santos?
He's a compulsive liar, fake, phony, horrible. Who is George Santos? Nobody knows.
Let's go! Fake it till you make it. Con artists take that to the extreme.
George Santos. I think he needs to lie more than he needs to breathe. I didn't want to go through this, but somebody had to say something.
He has been lying his entire life about everything.
If you could look into that camera and send a message to George Santos, what would you say?
What is wrong with you, dude? Nobody lies this much.
Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu. With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television. After an extraordinary news-making year, thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it. Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now. This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yeah. So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do? Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Next, we turn to our weekly segment, TikTok, where we take a closer look at the story behind the sensation. And attorney Lloyd Devereaux Richards and his daughter Marguerite Richards have taken the literary world by storm because Lloyd's 10-year-old novel Stone Maidens had long been forgotten until Marguerite turned to TikTok, and now it's a viral sensation. It's brought a ton of attention to her father's work, and this sudden surge in popularity has brought that book back to the forefront of the literary scene. It has sparked a renewed interest in Lloyd's writing. Let's take a look.
What's your #1 writing tip?
Write, you rewrite, and write it again, and never give up.
Gotta love that. Lloyd and Marguerite, thanks so much for being here. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you.
I mean, this is a fascinating story in and of itself, but Lloyd, just quickly, would love to hear your story, the Stone Maiden. What's it about?
Well, it's a serial killer thriller that was located in southern Indiana, where I went to law school, and there were some unsolved co-ed murders in the surrounding forests, and that was definitely formed a crucible of interest in my mind when I later, in the practice of law, decided I wanted to try my hand writing a novel.
I mean, Marguerite, that sounds like it's pretty easy to sell. Were you hearing that description and thought, I know I can get this on TikTok and it'll go?
I mean, I knew my dad was a wonderful storyteller and that he had written a beautiful book. I didn't know all this would happen. I thought some people would find it and enjoy it. I didn't know so many would enjoy it, though.
Right. I mean, let's talk about so many. This thing didn't just we say go viral a lot. This went #1 on Amazon. I mean, Lloyd, can you even wrap your head around that?
I'm still bewildered by this whole thing happening so rapidly when I had 0 sales to go from 0 to, in the last month, over 95,000 books.
Wow, unbelievable. And how has this been? I mean, obviously, you can see that this is not just Marguerite doing a sales job in this video. Clearly, the two of you have a loving relationship. How has it been to experience the two of you together?
We've been seeing a lot of each other because of your program and others like it. It's been wonderful, really. We've enjoyed our company. She's been everything to me. This never would have happened without my daughter.
Marguerite, how's it been watching your father have all this success now?
It's been amazing. This has just been like a dream, and I have loved every minute of it, and he is so deserving. It's just made my whole year so far, my whole life.
Lloyd, has Marguerite always had a natural gift for marketing? Because this is some unbelievable results.
I guess she must. I have no idea. I've never been on TikTok, and I just can't. It's mind-boggling to me what's happened.
I mean, it is a mind-boggling story, but it's unbelievable. Clearly, people responding to it for certain. Are you working on your next story now?
I've in fact finished a sequel. And
What's it called?
It's in with my agent.
Can you tell us the name?
It's got the same lead characters at this juncture. You know, that's up to whatever the powers that be that might want to.
And that was part of, what made me want to do this is that he did write a sequel. He finished it 6 months ago, and nobody was even reading his first book. So that's just so inspiring that he just kept going anyway.
Well, now you got a lot of people that I'm sure want to read that sequel. What do the two of you want people to take away from your story together?
Well, I would like to let you know, as a writer in Vermont, I know lots of other writers that are similarly situated to me who haven't done as well as I now have, that I would love to pay it forward for them. I have three authors in particular.
And who are they?
One is called Joseph Citro, and he wrote a book recently called Cursed in New England. These are stories about curses and strange disappearances and other eerie happenings that are based on true accounts. The second is a book called Little Red House by Liv Anderson. It's a thriller about a daughter who runs away and vanishes. And the third is called State of Redemption by Richard McEwen. Two lives headed in opposite directions with one thing in common. They were witnesses to a murder that happened 30 years ago in the parking lot of a small Vermont town.
All right. Well, you got to love paying it forward, and we'll have to check all those out. Lloyd and Marguerite, thanks so much for joining our series this week. And Stone Maidens is available to purchase wherever books are sold. Get it while it's hot, because they are selling for sure. And that is our show for tonight. I'm Trevor Ault. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, the ABC News app, and of course on abcnews.com.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of family.